Today is Wednesday, January 19th, and the Arizona Cardinals are frauds.
Absolute frauds. They made me so mad watching that game.
Terrible.
I was offended watching the Cardinals last night. I think everybody who's a sports fan has a right to be pissed off at the Cardinals.
I was so mad at myself because everyone does this when watching sports or gambling on sports. You have an opinion, you have a strong opinion, and then at the very last second, you go against your strong opinion for no real good reason. This podcast has been forefront in the Arizona Cardinals are frauds for the better half of 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
Cliff Kingsbury fades down the stretch. Kyler Murray, you want to say he's injured, whatever, I don't care. They're just not a upper echelon football team. And then right before I was like, ooh, these teams know each other, 3.5 points. The road team won both games this year. This one's going to be tight. And it was instant. You knew instantly that the Cardinals were going to get their asses kicked. And then we had the beautiful Kyler Murray, Carson Wentz play where I don't know what the fuck he was thinking.
He was about to take a safety. The thing is, it was bad that he threw it away, that he threw that interception. That's really bad. The worst part of that play is that he spent about 4.5 seconds in the end zone, just hanging out.
Yes.
Hoping that nothing bad was going to happen to him. Then he feels the heat on his back. And by the way, Kyler Murray's gotten slower. He was getting chased down by linebackers.
So he might be injured.
He might be injured, but he was getting chased down from behind by guys that were about 150 pounds heavier than him on a regular basis. Maybe not 100, but like 100 pounds heavier.
He's also gotten softer. He blocked me on Twitter. I also saw that he blocked Greg McElroy on Twitter, so I think he just left the game and started blocking people. I didn't at him.
And he's gotten slower, too.
Yes.
He's gotten slower, softer, and shorter.
Yes, all the bad things. It
Yeah.
probably doesn't that's I'll just say it. If it were someone that I would want to have on the show, I would have not tweeted that they blocked me.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Kyler Murray, that Dan Patrick interview. I'm okay with him not coming on the show.
Didn't we have Kyler Murray lined up for an interview at a Super Bowl, and it was right after he did the Dan Patrick interview?
Yeah.
And then I think his agent was like, you know what, Kyler's
We're
tired
not ready
right now.
We're not ready.
So I just pulled up his profile. He does not block me, but Jake was saying that we should compile an all block list.
Yes.
Like the best players at each position for Pardon My Take overall. So far we have Kyler Murray as QB1. Now that Big Ben doesn't block us anymore.
Correct.
Antonio Brown at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
OJ at running back.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Any notable blocks out
We
there?
probably should have done some research before we did this. That was stupid.
Not one that comes off the top. Sorry.
no. It's
sorry. I'm sorry for being stupid.
No, it's not.
Again.
I'm not blaming you. It's just we have 3 that we know of.
That's a good start, though.
That's all block list.
That's a good start.
I wouldn't even know how to figure out.
It
was. I got tagged in a tweet and I looked at his profile this morning. I was like, wait, he blocks me. And then the Greg McElroy thing makes me think that he literally got home last night. I'm going to give Kyler an out. I'm going to give him a very easy out. It feels like maybe his dad runs his Twitter account for him and was maybe just watching the game and watching everyone just shit on him. And I didn't at him. It wasn't like targeted harassment. I just simply asked the question, is he okay? Does he have eyeballs? Because there was moments in the game last night where it felt like I don't know what was going on. He looked drunk.
It was bad. The entire offense looked out of sync. Even on the plays where Kyler Murray was escaping from pressure and finding a guy like 7-8 yards running open downfield, if he was able to hit him in stride, the receiver was just dropping it. And it reminded me so much of those teams that you see where like the only explanation for why things go bad is that somebody had sex with somebody else's girlfriend or wife.
Yeah.
Like, remember, was it the 98 U.S. World Cup team?
Yes.
And then ever since that happened, that rumor gets brought up every time a team starts to suck. Maybe Cliff was sleeping with somebody because like the entire team looked like they just didn't want to be. The only person who looked like they wanted to be there was probably, it was a kicker.
Yeah.
Huffing those smelling
Matt
salts.
Prater
Legend.
kicking that extra, that 55-yarder. That was a very sad field goal. It was so bad that I actually said to myself, the Cardinals are so bad tonight, not even Matt Stafford can fuck this up. You know what I mean? Because if you're a Rams fan, what are you doing when you're going into the playoffs? You're like, we have everything. We have all the skill positions. Cam Akers is back. Aaron Donald is going to wreck games. It's essentially just comes down to, will Matt Stafford blow it in a big moment? If he doesn't, you could win the Super Bowl. If he does, you're screwed. And it got so, like, I'm not even saying when it was whatever it was, the score was what, 21, was it 28-0? Yeah. I'm not even saying then. I'm saying when it was 14-0. I was like, the Cardinals are so bad that Matt Stafford cannot screw this up. He's going to get his first playoff win. And I don't know what you do if you're a Cardinals, like, going forward. You can't, it's very hard to, like, make a big change because you made the playoffs. There was a point in time in this season that you were the best team in the football. But, man, there's a lot of questions with Cliff Kingsbury. I actually threw this out there today, PFT. I want to hear what you have to say. I would be more confident if I were a Cardinals or a Cowboys fan if our defensive coordinator was the head coach and not the head coach.
Okay, so I was actually just about to say when you were like, how do you fix this team? I think that this is the type of team that you do the thing where you hire a Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Where you go with a defensive coordinator.
Vance Joseph's been great.
Yeah. You hire a defensive guy, you zig while everybody else zags. You can't, like, rebuild by hiring a great defensive mind. That just doesn't work.
I just don't
because
understand.
You need a quarterback to take you to the next level. Your offense is awesome once you have Hopkins still out there.
Yeah.
And everybody's healthy.
But
your offense is going to be fine, I think, as long as you have an average offensive coordinator. If you have, like, a defensive mastermind leading that team, I think that's the way that you got to go. You hire somebody that maybe you hire Dan Quinn.
Yeah, it feels like every time the Cardinals, they are very reminiscent of like watching a triple option offense in that within the first 5 minutes, is this going to work or is it not? And like the Cardinals, like, is their offense going to work tonight or is it not? And then they just don't change it. Like it felt like they couldn't block anyone, and then they just kept on having Kyler drop back and throw it deep. And it was like, every time you do this, it ends up in disaster.
Yeah, I'm going to be the body language police on Kyler Murray. Don't like the body language.
Well, did you see that?
No, bad body. He looks like he's on sedatives when he goes on the sidelines. He's not talking to anybody. He's not screaming at anybody. They always say, like, you want a guy that'll grab somebody by the face mask. I think that's a little bit aggressive. I don't think you have to grab a guy by his face mask all the time. But Kyler's just like, he's a loner on the sidelines, which is fine if you're a punter or a kicker or, a nerd that nobody's supposed to care about.
So Jeremy Fowler on ESPN said that he actually said before the game, he said, talk to a veteran Seahawks player who said he didn't like Arizona this week because the Cardinals had bad body language in the Seattle game.
There we go.
Cardinals loaded up on veteran leaders to instill toughness, but it's not enough.
There we go. I actually think that there is something to the body language experts out there that are able to read that. Like, you can have certain players. I think the list of players that it's okay for them to have bad body language or to not talk to people on the sidelines, it would be a kicker, a punter, or like a psycho linebacker that nobody talks to because they're afraid they're going to get murdered.
Like, don't talk to the Ngama Sue.
Yeah, don't talk to James Harrison on the sidelines because he'll rip out one of his acupuncture needles and brain you with it.
Right, and the Ngama Sue will step on your throat or your hand and say it was an accident.
Yeah, Aaron Donald will choke you.